clips, follow us on Instagram, Reading the Author.
Hey guys, welcome back to the podcast Reading the Author. I truly believe and pray that you and your families are completely safe and healthy as well. Guys, what I feel on a personal level is that we all want to listen to stories basically. Like, in fact, we love to. And when it comes to a Saturday night and listening to stories, I guess no one will ever refuse to this combination. So, keeping that in mind, what we have decided is to launch audiobooks on every Saturday. Yes, you heard that right. Audiobooks are now available on Reading the Author podcast. And in today's episode, we are presenting Dolly Won't play by Monisha K Gumber ma'am. Basically, guys, this is a final and third part of Monisha ma'am's teen book trilogy series. It raises a serious issue such as emotional and sexual abuse of children, as well as the sensitive topic of learning disabilities. When it comes to targeted audience, if we can speak about, the book is meant for especially teen girls, young adults, but definitely recommended for even parents and teachers as well, so that they can understand the importance of treating such children with respect and humility. Moreover, guys, would like to acknowledge you all about Monisha ma'am as well. She is a phenomenal author, first of all, and she has written altogether 4 books. The first one is Sick of Being Healthy, second one Dying to Live, third one Dolly Won't Play, which altogether makes the teen trilogy, and the fourth book is Bahir. And guys, if you want to listen more such audiobooks, then on YouTube basically, then you can go to Vachi Audiobooks channel and listen to many more books. So I hope you all will support our this new initiative. Signing off, enjoy yourself.
Rock-a-bye, baby, on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. Ring a roses, a pocket full of posies.
How do I start that it sounds oh so smart? Or should I just concentrate on being me? Just a pretty face and a superb figure. Welcome to my world of makeup, false eyelashes, push-up bras, and report cards. With lots of red lines. Yes, the Dumbo is going to write a book. Have no expectations. Have nothing to lose. Except if you paid to read the book. Which I doubt. It's a bright, sunshine day. Blue sky above and lush green grass on which I lay. Wet kisses on my cheeks. Being hugged so tight. Somehow it doesn't feel so right. Uncle is so nice and warm, and frankly, hasn't done enough to raise an alarm. So my feelings, I learned to fight, even though it still doesn't feel so right. I see this stunning woman, my mama, walking towards us. Uncle gives her a hug too. A hug? That should have ended a minute sooner. I feel a pang of jealousy. Towards whom? They say they are friends, best friends. But ladka-ladki kabhi dost nahi hote. Nani and I again watched Maine Pyar Kiya on TV the other day. But they're grown-ups, man and women. Is uncle my mother's friend or mine? Papa and Mama fight a lot. All love is lost. You see, Papa, a smart doctor. Mama, an ex-Miss Delhi, smart and dumb. don't go together. You are the biggest mistake of my life. Papa lashes out at her. Mama rolls her eyes. Because this beauty queen doesn't have the words that can hurt. My brother and I, two dumbbells taken after our mom. So says Papa. Bhaiya gets beaten up a lot, but not me. I'm just a cute little girl, a kanjak. Dolly, you are so sweet, like an ice cream. You know it, don't you? I could eat you up. He licks his lips. The lift door opens. I run off, but a part remains with my uncle. School starts. Time to get serious. We're big children now. In class 4. No less. Come on, children. Dictation time. A lullaby. Yet my heart beats louder, then fades away. I hear the cruel words bounce on my empty notebook. Ma'am pulls it away mercilessly as I try to hold on it desperately. She looks at me contemptuously as if I'm the criminal, even though she just robbed me of my self-respect, my notebook. Home wasn't so happy either, but I loved them all, especially my dad. He was too good for the rest of us, or that's how he made us feel. I ached for his affection, a hug here, a kiss there. None came, except a shrug of his shoulders, like where did I go wrong? But Uncle filled in for Dad and gave me more love than I could ever ask for. My handsome Uncle Uday, my hero.
Come on, Dolly, let's go high. He pressed the button of the lift. We elevated before he put me down to play on the bed and made me take a God's promise never to tell a soul. And if I broke it, my mom would die. The devil would kill her. It was all part of God's mission. A part of me knew he was making it up. A part of me believed him. Because a part of me wanted what he wanted, love. So that mom could live forever. That's what I told myself.
Did it hurt or did it feel nice? Or both? After so many years, I still feel ashamed to say, yes, it did. Sex is not overrated. It hurts like hell. It feels good. It is supposed to. Both. Can I describe it? No. I'm not good with words and I don't want to. What Uncle and I had was too personal, sacred, an act of being loved, finally. But I did it for Mama. You know that, don't you? School again. I jump from one place to another, one topic to another. School. They called my parents to say I needed to be evaluated professionally. What was that? They said I was slow, lost, in zombie land. It's not just academics. She mutters to herself. She just doesn't respond and stares away into space. My dad refused to believe I was his daughter after all. Mom did. I was her daughter after all. Colorful educational toys, jigsaw puzzles, stacking cups, Mr. Potato Head, some broken crayons. No sweat, except this doctor asked me my favorite colors, my friends, my hobbies, and what did I want to do in life. Yes, grown-ups are crazy, even the well-meaning ones. From the corner of my eye, I see my mom wiping her tears. her eyes looking elsewhere. I know, she knows. ADHD, Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder. But Dolly is, Mama said, kind of lazy, a daydreamer. She isn't hyperactive. Well, the doctor says there are all kinds of variations and depends on the degree of the problem. But that was me. That was God's way of punishing me for playing with my uncle and enjoying it too. Instead of praying for my mother's life, that I screwed up big time. Don't cry, Mama. I will never do it again. Do what, Dolly? Mom's eyes pierced into mine. I mean, I will learn my spellings. Oh, Dolly, what will I say to your father? That was her biggest worry. I will sue her. She doesn't know a thing. Dolly's my daughter. She can't be what I can't be. My father still hoped that I could not go wrong. But I did. I had a disability, a learning disability as they say, which meant I wasn't normal. I wonder who is. My friends, Tara and Megha. Tara, funny yet rebellious. Megha, always a winner. Read books I dreaded. Bizarre names like Matilda, Of Mice and Men, The Wind in the Willows. What if they found out that I was different? So I focus on a story Megha is narrating. A movie based on Ruskin Bond's novel. So you see, Khatri's life becomes miserable as everyone boycotts him in the village. Binya is a kind of girl who sympathizes with Khatri and decides that Khatri is the real owner of the umbrella, not her. She gives the umbrella to Khatri. The village people accept him. Then, guys, that's about it, concludes Megha proudly. As if it was her film. I can't take it anymore. I go home. Dolly, come on in. Uncle holds my hand, gives me a gift, a Barbie doll. My fingers stroke her silky hair, touch her full chest, wrap around her slender waist, feel her long legs, and drop her hard on the floor. Who could be envious of a plastic toy? But what if Uncle notices the stark differences too, and stops playing with me? But Uncle smiles, reassuring me, and I melt to the taste of refreshing peppermint. So where have you been, wasting time with Megha and Tara? Papa shouts at me. So you see, Khatri's life becomes miserable as everyone boycotts him in the village. Binya is a kind girl who sympathizes with Khatri and decides that Khatri is the real owner of umbrella, not her. She gives the umbrella to Khatri. The village people accept him. Then, guys, that's about it. I conclude proudly, as if it was my film. Papa's eyes, burning balls of red fire. Fadak! I collapse. And this time, I really did zone out. Sorry, it was a blackout. My head still spinning and in extreme pain deep inside me. It was the middle of the night and my body seemed to be on fire. Mama, Mama, I called out. Shh, baby, I'm right here, and found my mama next to me. Mama, did you see that? Papa hit me. I cried while my little body shook, probably to shake off the betrayal. I remembered those times when he took me out on drives for ice cream when I was still at nursery school. I guess back then, it did not really matter so much if you couldn't spell slide, as long as you knew how to play on it. Dolly, I am with you always, no matter what happens. We hugged each other to sleep. Thankfully, it was a weekend. and despite the filmy slap, which hurt, by the way, I was happy that I did not have to go to school the next day. School, a place having a loving and supportive atmosphere, where children develop emotionally and academically, where children reach their full potential, a nurturing environment that develops confidence. We all know it's nothing but propaganda. In reality, for kids like me who felt out of place, who couldn't focus in class, who was snickered at, avoided by most children, it was a nightmare. I was bullied everywhere by the teachers, the nastiest of bullies, at least some of them. Every time I got humiliated by my teachers, I felt tears trickling down my chapped red-hot cheeks, more so because I couldn't bear their proud smiles, my friends, that they were trying hard to suppress. Children can be cruel. How I wish parents would teach them the true meaning of kindness right from the beginning, which is being nice to the weak kids in class, and the fat ones, the short ones, the weaklings, the dhile screws, and all the other kids who don't fit in. I know you've heard this before, so nothing I will say will do anything more. In other words, school sucked. I hated every minute of it. Sick of those never-ending tests, the attitude my friends were developing, and that there was nothing I was good at. Yes, no singing, no dancing, no sports, nothing at annual day functions, not even a hint of extracurriculars. It was that bad. At age 9, I was already destined to be a failure in life. Meanwhile, my personal life rocked more and more. Oh Dolly, it is the best gift you can give to your Uncle Uday. You are so beautiful, Dolly, so soft, red cheeks. I can never have enough of you. My body jerked in response. It felt good, electrifying, the feeling of letting go and drowning in muck. It liberated me, and I was hooked. I was dirty, finally. It felt refreshing to admit it in my mind. Uncle knew it and still accepted me, despite my problems, despite my grades, despite what my teachers thought of me, despite being hated by my dad. He loved me, and that was all I cared for. But remember, never to tell anyone. I promised Uncle. I meant it, you see. For once, I wanted to make an elder proud of me. The boat rocked in the storm. I couldn't hold on with a moan, went down deeper and deeper in the whirlpool of my pee. Do you know you could replace the word whirlpool with suckhole? Funny, no? And so apt for my situation. Oh no, Dolly, you did it again. Mama swallowed a lump in her throat as she opened the drapes to let the yellow light into the dark room. But the prison inside me remained black. You need to get out, Dolly, from your bubble. We have work to do, said my mother to herself. A dumb beauty took to Google and read and read and read until she had enough words to talk about it. Dolly isn't doomed, neither is she mentally retarded. Okay, she can be impulsive or have problems with communicating and relating to the world around her, and has a hard time concentrating, but a lot of kids like her are super intelligent and super talented. If it makes you feel better, then do you know what little Dolly has in common with these famous people? Justin Timberlake, Michael Phelps, Sir Richard Branson, and countless others? ADHD, said the doctor. No, it doesn't make me feel better, because we don't know even one famous person from our country of 1 billion plus people who has this. But they do, Miss Nanda. They just don't talk about it. And that's why, doctor, I'm sad, Mama said softly. So you see, Mrs. Nanda, I knew there was a problem. Aren't you glad you took Dolly to be evaluated professionally? Said my class teacher, seeming more cheerful than ever, as if she had won a free comb with hair oil. Kindly look for a special school for such children. She can't stay here. Finally, some sympathy. All Dolly needs is some support, my mama replied. Like some personal attention in class, some extra time to do her work, some sensitivity. Today it's Dolly. Tomorrow it could be your kids, whatever age they may be. Today it's ADHD. Tomorrow it could be autism. Times they are changing, adding more and more stress, taking a heavy toll on the kids. Surely as a teacher, you can see that, can't you? And have you not seen Tare Zameen Par? My mother roared, as if a movie should now provide credibility to her claims of her daughter wired differently. Oh, I underestimated you, but I see your point. Let's meet in a few days and discuss. My teacher surrendered. So mom had tamed this bully, and that's why they say that a mother's love is the most potent force in the world. I wonder why they consider me dumb, even when I use such smart phrases. So my mother became the first therapist I ever had, just like your mother was to you. She asked me to look for words in a game of word search. Just 5, a daunting task, but she pushed and pushed and did not let me give up. I ended up finding more, even words which weren't there in the first place, and even the words I hated. As I said, mother's love that starts much before they push and push in the maternity room. Girls just have it in them, despite the pain. Too much love to give sometimes to the wrong people, knowingly. We bonded over words and words and words. She taught me so many, some of them really impressive. Only I don't know if I always use them correctly. Learning disabilities or not, I could learn now. Okay, at my own pace, in my own way. All children are different. They talk different, play different, look different, learn different. Everyone knows. Then why the labels? Why brand us for life? Does it make it any better? What's the rush to fix us? What's the hidden agenda? But then I was too young and Mama too overstrung, with no respite from the frustration of having no answers to these unasked questions. Henceforth, wow, I like the ring of this word. We did what we had to, and sure enough, I started doing better and better. I wanted to stand first in class. I studied and studied, but it just did not happen. I asked my mother, is it impossible because of the way I am? Dolly, nothing can come in your way. Just keep trying. Once I knew that, I gave up trying. Milky white, hair as black as night, big eyes, that too light. Already, little girls were mean to me. I did not want more hate than my 9 years could take. I settled for dumb beauty, even when I had ideas and theories and concepts and what not. Only I could not express them properly. So I tried to remain deaf to being called dumb, but couldn't get used to the shit, especially because the shit was true. Instead of a simple cotton suit, Mama wore black stilettos and a skirt with a red silk top to a school meeting and asked them to see beyond their invisible glasses of racism that size up, judge, and compartmentalize people as smart, intelligent, genius, crazy, Stupid, slow, gone case, high class, low class, based on the brands they wear on their bodies, or actually how they speak words of the English language in Hindustan. Mama became a warrior. She fought my case at school, at home, defended me, believed in me. She did not care what the doctors said or what the internet said. Maybe it would have been easier if she could admit that God made me this way. She knew I would overcome it, that there was no need for repentance, and it wasn't a life sentence. But my life ended when Uncle Uday left the city for greener pastures or pinker little girls. Armies of hundreds of them invaded my mind. I surrendered to them as I couldn't let go of him. But his body went without goodbyes, except a call to his best friend, Mama. She felt even more defeated than I did. What did this man do to his women? I just ran away, got onto a rocking horse in the nearby park. I rocked and rocked and rocked some more, rubbing myself violently against the saddle, as my poor mama stood watching with her eyes blinded, drenched in hot tears. It felt good, and I continued rocking to get the same feeling Uncle gave me. The rocking horse failed me, and I collapsed on the beast, incomplete. Now her trembling body drenched in cold sweat. She became super desperate, despite her belief in me. She started believing in everything else too. Okal shokal, tantra mantra, energy healing, Peer Baba. Maybe something would work, so that her dolly could be like other girls. Papa stood his ground, wouldn't let her try anything on me. She promised. And the very next day took me to that place. I whimpered. I saw myself descending a black hole slide in the water park, a black hole that had no light at the end of it, or maybe no end at all. Look at me, the old woman in a black robe yelled, and shook my shoulders. Let go of me, auntie. I won't trouble anyone again, I howled. Yes, I knew you were in there. Leave her body out, you witch. And she smacked me with a broom to chase away the evil spirits. The mother spirit, however, awakened in Mama, and she knew it was a mistake. She rescued me from the dusty dark alley and promised to herself to protect me from everything evil, a promise made too late. Dejected, heartbroken, confused, lonely, very. Our games in bed had cast a spell. The intensity of self-contempt combined with fierce yearning for the portion of love rendered me helpless, an addict on the brink of insanity. But life goes on. We somehow managed to pass each year in school. The tag of dumb beauty stayed, even when I could focus a lot more on words and numbers written on the blackboard. Much like the stories held as hostages, scripted in my head, struggling to break out till I stopped being in bed and became a teenager, and fell in love with Uncle Uday again, nearly.
माना के हम यार नहीं, लगता है कि प्यार नहीं, माना के हम यार नहीं, लगता है कि प्यार नहीं, फिर भी नजरे ना तुम मिलाना, दिल का एतबार नहीं.
I know it's the wrong time to introduce the characters of this story, but I never did anything right anyway. Tara, Megha, Karan, Mama, Uncle Uday, Sandy, my brother too, who hardly has a role to play here, fragments from my twisted mind from books written earlier. We all were neighbors, lived too close for our own good. Is this introduction enough? Then let's carry on and take a time leap like they do in TV serials. I was now a really pretty teen, like Betty and Veronica from Archie Comics. Somehow, girls wanted to hang out with me and show me off to other girls to evoke jealousies. Why does no one tell them it's wrong? Even when I felt vindicated that now it's my time, as no matter what, these girls could never have half my figure. Even if it was wrong, I did not want to change it. A recluse like me welcomed the attention. It was long due and I deserved it. Tara, my best friend, was in love with this guy I had not paid any attention to, but when I saw him looking at me, I fluttered my eyelashes and welcomed him in my space. Even when I knew how my best friend felt, even when she told no one, but all knew. It was Karan, Uncle Uday's son. Until now, I did not really notice, but when he looked at me with the same brown eyes, my body shivered and reminded me of his maker, someone I did not even try or want to forget and move on from. The contrition, you can look it up just in case, mixed with recollections of being in a trance away from the realities of the other world, was now my identity and I craved for it. His voice, a softer version of Uncle's with the same tone. His hands, a shade darker. His hair, thick, unlike Uncle's. But he was the best replica of my lost love, as his mouth was exactly his father's, brought back the memories that had never really left me. And it was enough for the time being, till Uncle came back and reclaimed me. Well, I'm in college. Dad lives far away in foreign lands. That's what Karan told me when I asked him, "You go to which school and what does your father do?" Besides, drive me crazy? Little did he know that his dad has lived in my room since I was a little girl. What was I to do except settle for his shadow? At 14, the hormones raging in me were making it impossible for me to sleep without reliving the moments from 5 years back, when I was just a little girl, and now, with my own chest rounder than Barbie's and legs longer than hers, oh, that would please Uncle so much. I did not have to do much, just pouted my lips, stroked my hair, acted a bit more dumb than I was to get his attention. I know, I hurt my best friend, but I had to get him at all costs. But as I said, he came cheap. Young love, so innocent. He sent me a million messages on Snapchat, cute animal videos, some memes borrowed from the internet, love poems that rhymed, funny selfies too, with a filter that made him look so much like Uncle, but so unlike him. Uncle had what his son can never, the power to possess. Whereas Karan, poor young lad, even in college, wasn't man enough to admit he wanted me. Or perhaps he did not. And he was really innocent, something that had begun to bore me, as this schoolgirl really wanted to see who was better, hoping that Uncle was, so I could have no excuse to get over him. I was desperate. I wasn't used to this claustrophobia of public places, meetings at Comic Cons, the Society Park, or PVRs. If it was love, Karan had to prove it, but I was the girl here and did not want to be too available, which I was, but exclusive to his bloodline though. Yeah, I'm not a bimbo, I said to myself. School, as usual, boring, tiring, irritating, etc., etc. But I had to still go, since I was just a young teen and was expected to spend half the day there. Even if I spent it daydreaming in dusty classrooms, reverberating with giggling sounds, stench of half-open tiffins passed around during algebra lessons, interrupted by a loud "Class, be quiet!" or in the girls' toilet, spending hours adjusting my skirt, my hair, my bosom, because it's still school? Okay, boobs. Applying layers of makeup to get the no makeup look to attract boys I had no interest in. And of course, you already know I claim no potential in math and science or English, though I have come a long way, can focus a lot more, can write a 300-word essay with commas, apostrophes, and capital letters in the right places. Unlike here, where I have the freedom to write without any fear of C's or D's. A notebook, confined, limited, chained my thoughts. But this laptop, where my words are not forbidden, has no judgment from God or the random Adam or Eve. Who would ultimately read this shit? All these philosophies made me forget that I have a lover who just wants to hang out in groups. What could be more unfortunate for a cheapo, a despo like me? Yeah, I know I'm called that sometimes, just for wearing short skirts that show off my long, smooth legs that other girls don't have in the peak of winters. Neither do they have dysfunctional families, friends who have no respect for me, a history of sin for which there is no redemption, committed at an age reserved for teddy bears when I played with a male's private parts, the ugly truth that little girls don't even get to see, leave alone touch and feel, a past and perhaps a poignant future of learning difficulties that made my mind wander from a trigonometric equation to a word from the thesaurus I can replace sad with, to my father's stethoscope, to mama's tattoo on her navel, to bhaiya's muddy football, to the Barbie uncle gave me, with her face now damaged, eyes tired from always staying open, hair in disaster, and shabby old tight fitting rags. She started looking so much like I do from the inside. You need to love yourself, Dolly. Just look at you. Who can match these features, this skin, this figure, this sense of style? You are already a knockout, announced my mother. Oh, cut the crap, Mama. I've heard this 100 times, as if it would really make me change my mind. Almost 40 now. Mama was holding on to her youth by spending all her time in the gym or next to the mirror, and she did a bloody good job out of it. We were more like friends than mother and daughter, a friend who knew nothing about my dirty dark secrets, chiseled inside me forever. But my beauty spread far and wide. Only Karan remained untouched, at least physically, but Mama gave me the confidence to carve my own road, a road that led to the same lift, the same house that Uncle brought me to 100 years ago, and now I brought his son to play once again. Yes, this was meant to be. As his lips came near mine, I could smell the flavor of the same refreshing peppermint. As his hands glided down to my waist, I saw him standing at the door with a wry smile on his pale face, amused, dejected, in pain for betraying him, Uncle, I scream. Karan, let go of me. What did you just say, Dolly? Your father, I said, hushed. I think he saw us. Oh shit, man. My father, Dolly, lives in Australia. Karan, I whispered again. He's back. Go out and say hello. Look, there's no one. Relax, Dolly. Maybe you are just nervous, Karan said, all creeped out as he switched on the lights of the main entrance. Mama, I swear I saw him. I mean someone who looks like Uday uncle in the building. Is he back? Well, if he is, I'm not going to spare him this time for leaving just like that. Yeah, Mama, and now he's back just like that. You are so beautiful, Dolly, so soft, red cheeks. I can never have enough of you. My body jerked in response. I woke up, startled, all wet, only now it wasn't my pee down there. I need to see him. He's back, but why is he hiding? Mama, did you find out? Let's call him over lunch. Your best friend. Dolly, what the hell are you talking? Uday isn't back. He called me last night from Australia. Said he was thinking about us. Us? You mean me? Too? I thought as a chill ran down my spine. I still need to see him, or for now, his poor photocopy will do. Karan, the neighborhood stud. Girls swooned over him. Guys wanted to be like him. Into music, sports, and me. A complete package, yet so incomplete to me. God, just add those couple of decades, some more suave, and he might come close to my illicit love. Starry, starry night, paint your palette blue and grey. For the first time, I felt a connection with Karan as we slow danced to this tragedy of an artist's life. Now, I understand what you tried to say to me and how you suffered for your sanity. I almost closed my eyes and felt Karan's closeness, as if he would rescue me from the pain, the longing, and the loathing. His father dug deep in my soul. Maybe I should just give him a chance and not use him to fulfill me. I open my eyes as my body moves to the rhythm next to his, slowly, softly, and I see him standing at the door with the same wry smile on his pale face, amused, dejected, in pain for betraying him. Uncle, I scream. Karan, don't shit me. Your dad's there. I saw him. Dolly, stop playing these games. You don't want to get close. Just say so. Karan is now on fire, and I melt as he reminds me of the same heat I felt around his dad's body a long, long time ago. Yes, I was just fooling around. I apologize and feel sorry for myself. What's happening? And who is really playing games? Uncle is back, but no one wants to tell me. Does it mean they know? I am like the pink handkerchief tied, fluttering in the middle between the two ends of a game of tug-of-war, pulled viciously by the son and his father. Whoever wins or loses forgets all about the dangling piece of cloth, which is now tossed aside. With an imagination as insane as mine, I started fearing falling asleep to ward off the random scenes turning into full-fledged lucid dreams of both father and son together, dissolving in the bed with me. There came a point when I wasn't sure if I was awake or sleeping. Only the fluorescent numbers across my bed confided in me that there were hours to go before the morning sun came in through to disinfect my bed with sweat trickling into those creases, just like the creases in my toxic mind. If only I wasn't so lazy to smoothen them out. My friends, Tara and Megha, said they were worried about me. Tara took me to a workshop in the society hall where they teach girls how to say no. If only I'd known that I had a choice. I listened and I broke down. I had to tell someone, even if it was nothing but lies, that Karan wanted to go all the way, but rather it was me. Still, we couldn't, because his father was always watching. And it wasn't a lie, as they said I was telling. So he broke up with me, left me completely on my own to live out my fantasies alone. Oh, how much I liked him, I realized only after he stopped taking my calls and called me what I was, mad. Now, I did not know what was true and what wasn't. I saw his father, but he did not believe me and said I had issues I had to sort out, and I had to stop flirting as he was serious about wanting a real relationship and not just physical intimacy like me. I guess I was a bimbo after all. I apologized. I couldn't let him leave me, just like his father. Maybe if I met him around people, Uncle wouldn't mind. And I was right. Uncle stopped stalking us as we continued having our relationship, not being taken to the next level, as I'm sure both my mama and uncle would have disapproved. Here I was falling in love now, floating in the clouds above, washed by and soaked in raindrops of true love, so clean, no kisses, no fondling, only pure messages of I love you baby on Snapchat. Oh, how it felt to be that precious girl, the chosen one, the girl who can have anyone but wants no one except him, that girl who's finally falling in love, slowly, soberly, sweetly, with the handsome stud of the neighborhood who had eyes only for her. Yes, beautiful people make love seem even more pink than pink teddy bears. We continued our romance despite my record with his father. I felt we all could move on and grow up a couple of years more till I was 17 and hated school more and more until it was just too much, so that one day I just quit.
गोली मार बेचे में बेच शोर करता है बेचेगी सुनेगी तो मरेगी डॉली.
You can't do that, Dolly. My mama laughed at my guts. That reminded her of her younger self. I'm not going there anymore, Mama. I have nothing more to learn than I already know, of which I can't remember anything at all. What would your dad say? Dr. Aman Nanda's daughter, not even a high school pass? And it made her laugh even more, holding back her tears of sorrow for a failure of her daughter, of relief for her daughter to not have to suffer anymore, of revenge on her husband whose blood had let him down big time. They were separated, but still some more tears remained in anticipation of the spiteful sarcasm she would be subjected from him. And the whole wide world, that she had failed too in her most sacred duty as a mother, but only she knew she had given me enough courage to make such a move, which in today's date and time, only the super crazy or the super rich or the super poor can. But here we were, the simpletons, the middle classes, maybe the upper middle, or whatever. As if it mattered, the fact was, I was free of the prison they called school. If only I could break free from the prison of my mind, just like that too. While my classmates slogged, cramming more and more formulas, I stayed at home and tried to sleep away the pain of being called slow, of mental case behind my back, sometimes on my face, while all I could do was pretend I did not hear their words and did not understand their sneers that made them feel good about themselves, simply because a beautiful girl in their class was so damn stupid that she did not stand a chance of ever making it in life. And then they could forgive God for making them ugly. At least they got marks. Whoever invented the idea that intelligent people are those who know by heart the names of presidents and vice presidents, or capitals, or currencies of the countries of the world was the biggest dumbass to begin with. That's GK, dude. So what next? Asked Mama. I want to take it easy. Mama shrugged, as in her mind, her lazy, spoiled daughter already had it easy, till she remembered a difficult childhood of learning difficulties, and the struggles we had to go through in order to stay at a place that did not want me, a place I had just rejected and did not allow any more to squeeze me more and more into an invisible bubble, a bubble I could not burst, but now could make it bigger so I could breathe. I had to stay inside, I guess. I had secrets to protect and conspiracies that made me. But now that I was almost an adult, I knew, or had a divine revelation from the dark skies above, what happened to me was not fair. Uncle did not do it, so Mama could live. I knew it then, and I laughed at my sorry state of pretending to myself that I believed him when I did it, because it kind of felt nice. And now the agony I felt because I had enough free time to know I was so wrong. Why did Uncle and I do this to me? I was just a baby. How could he? God, how could he? I screamed and screamed silently, and my mind split open, created a mayhem of a million pieces, with blood, gore, and acid oozing out fiercely. Each piece felt a different feeling: revulsion, hatred, disgust, remorse, paranoia. As I said, I am not so good with words, and anyway, those different feelings mean the same shame directed towards the same thing. A dream of him, his whole being slaughtered and sliced into a million pieces, to "I will get you one day, uncle," I promised to the little girl. There was only one problem. His son had fallen deeply, madly in love with a girl who had snapped herself out of it, just like that, for a greater cause, a higher purpose. When I said I don't love you anymore, as I have found someone else, I was almost right, but he did not believe me and begged me to stay. I had to break away, as I did not want collateral damage. He was too precious a boy, too loving and caring, a sweetheart who had to be protected from me. But his love for me was perhaps greater than my hate for his father, so I gave up trying to keep him out of this. Maybe I wasn't strong enough to stand my ground, or maybe I did love him, a fact that was coming in the way of my fantasies of tormenting his father more than he made me suffer now for the pleasure I experienced then. A pleasure that took my mind off from the torture of those times, of having a razor-sharp stone between my legs, its hardness cutting through my insides, for which I made an excuse, bluffed like a pro every time, that I had a stomach ache, that I got hit by a hard ball, that I tumbled down on something hard in the playground, which weren't lies entirely. Mama believed me. Maybe she did not have the courage to take any more blows, or maybe believing was more convenient. After all, everyone knew I was the clumsy one in my own zone, who hardly paid attention to the outside world. As a little girl, I had to wait to cry in my bed at night with a monster underneath. I couldn't even make much noise about it. It was as if it was a part of life, like it's no big deal. But now that I was a grown up, okay, you heard it before. So, like I said, I was older and wiser, had seen some documentaries and some primetime news, and even read a book. I realized I was just used, abused, and I wondered why my mama, who is as modern, as liberal as it can get, never ever talked about this with me. The more I knew, the more I knew that it was wrong. Uncle violated my trust, and my mama's. He had to pay for it, and this thought drove me insane. The obsession to see him suffer became a trending video in my imagination. But with Karan, I was back again. This on-off relationship also became a part of life. Like, it's no big deal? Well, you know, it's complicated. In the life of a teenager, a 3-4 years relationship with the same person is a very serious business, like a lifetime. And even I had begun to feel committed. If only Senior wasn't in the scene anymore, and I could do something to wipe off every trace of him from this world. Valentine's Day is a good time to take your relationship to the next level, something I used to insist even when I was younger. But today, Karan did, and as usual, I did not want to have a choice. It was dead quiet, except our murmurs, our giggles in his empty house, the same house that brought back memories. Thank God, they got a new floral sofa and had painted the walls light yellow. So his lips came close to mine. I closed my eyes tight to stop me from seeing images from the past, and as his shivering hands explored those angles and curves, I could feel his presence again, standing at the door with the same wry smile on his same pale face, amused, dejected, in pain for betraying him. Uncle, I screamed again. Karan, you dog, you are messing with me again. Don't tell me he isn't back. Look, he's watching us. I pointed towards Uncle, who stood watching, his eyes piercing into mine. Karan, look at him, your father, I shouted. Dolly, stop it, you brat. No one's here, except you and me. Oh yes, he's not there. So I'm blind or a psycho. Is that what you're saying? You father and son. In the whole goddamn world, was it only me you both could find to mess around with? As we turned back, Uncle escaped. I fled too, to my mama. I cried and cried and cried. Sorry, Mama. I was making out with Karan and Uncle saw us. My mama, who is as modern, as liberal as it can get. Oh, I'm repeating myself again. Sorry. My mama couldn't understand why I was crying and saying sorry for being with my boyfriend. She knew about it and did not really mind. So, what was the ruckus about? Oh yes, Uncle saw us. Dolly, my baby, Uday isn't here. He hasn't visited India since years. Trust me, beta. He called me from Australia just this morning. How about trusting me, Mama? I blasted her. For once, when I'm saying he's here, he is here. He's just hiding. And why does he keep calling you? Mama then realized there was more to it. She begged me to tell the truth, and when I refused stubbornly, despite hoping that she would keep begging, she begged me again to come with her to see someone she trusted. I saw him 3 times in Karan's house. I mean, it's his house, too. And what were you doing then? I mean, anything in particular or common to all these 3 times? Yes, me and Karan, we were sort of close, kissing and all, you know. The first 2 times, it was couple of years back. And last time, just last week, Uncle is back. I saw him in flesh and bone, but they say I am lying. The doctor did not want to talk any more. She knew there was so much more, and I wasn't ready to let the monster out. My mother did not ask me any more questions. She just became sweeter, just like she was when the first doctor revealed the naked truth of my learning disabilities. Ages ago, she was worried there was something even murkier and savage waiting to be exposed, though she sort of had a very good idea by now, evidenced by the dark circles around her eyes, that she lay awake every night, praying, hoping against hope that her worst fears wouldn't come true about her best friend and her daughter. At my next appointment, we were ready, as it had weighed me down so much, and I was so injured and so tired that either I could fall flat on my face with a thud, just like they show in movies, or be my own hero, decide to stand up with my fists closed, my teeth clenched, and blood finding its way out through my combat uniform, a cross between Manikarnika and Bahubali, and to make it even more intense, say out aloud a motivational quote. A Sanskrit shloka would be perfect. Obviously, I did not know any, so I made up my own. There is nothing that can get me. But instead, I was cool. I let out the steam, revealed those scars, and opened up about how stupid I was to allow this person to control my very being by playing a game that shows no sign of ending. And that was quick. Surprisingly, what I had lived and thought of for thousands of hours, I summed up in just a few minutes. As you know, I don't know how to bullshit and go on and on to describe my messed up stories of pain and anguish and lust and deceit. It could have been so tragic, so shocking, so sensational if it had happened to a drama queen who could throw tantrums, break some glasses, or play with complex words, unlike a Dumbo, like yours truly. Well, Mrs. Nanda, said the doctor, I'm afraid she has got something. It looks like, well, schizophrenia combined with the usual anxiety issues. She sees people who are not there. She's delusional. Or it's a hyperactive imagination, to put it mildly, but it's a mental illness. We could try counseling or medication if needed. I'm so sorry. I need to run some more tests to confirm. I'm so sorry. Here, have some water. Her treacherous past, her learning difficulties. Do you know if this ADHD was acquired or was she born with it? Maybe it's because of the abuse. We can't say for sure. It remains a grey area, but her current psychological issues have manifested from her episodes with that predator. A trusted one of the family, yes? As usual. I'm so sorry, dear. The doctor seemed heartbroken. What a nice lady, was all I thought. What a nice lady, said Mama too, on her way back home. What were we supposed to do? Mama did not have a plan. She was tired of Google already and said she had done with reading for life. So we decided to give us some time and let the grief of the diagnosis, of the abuse, of the betrayal sink in. After all, what was the fuss? Unlike then, which seemed like yesterday when I had to still get passing marks to stay in school, it was not like Mama would throw me out of the house, was it? Would she? I locked myself in my room, let the monster from underneath the bed come out and laughed. Hey, you don't have to hide anymore. You can live with me forever. Uncle Uday, on the other hand, disappeared. Karan broke up with me one more time. Maybe couldn't handle the situation, but this time I needed him more than ever, as Uncle came only when Karan touched me. I had to see Uncle one more time. Mama, look, I have gone through shit. I'm still not dead. Why are you behaving as if it's the end of the world? It never is, my dear girl. It is never the end of the world. Karan, please, I beg of you, will you make out with me just this last time? We can break up after that. I need my answers. Otherwise, I can never move on. I did that against my doctor's advice because even my mama thought that's the only way we could move on. Yeah, my mama was either very stupid herself or believed in me just too much for her own good. But still, my baby, if you have to confront him, let's go and see him in Australia in person. Or, if you want to kill him, then let me do the honors. Mama fidgeted helplessly with raging rivers of black molten lava erupting from her furious eyes endlessly. Mama, I just need answers from the man who stands watching when I get touched by another man. Karan, my precious one, gave in when he heard the whole damn saga and why I wanted to be kissed by him. He has a good heart, unlike where he came from, a miserable place. You see, Dolly, my father, your Uncle Uday, left us, his family, one fine day and never came back. You don't know how much I hate him. I have questions too, but I will let you tackle him first. Karan, my precious one was sounding crazier than I was. You see, people with troubled childhoods never really grow up and keep doing stupid things. With my mother's permission, I went again to the same house where his son was waiting for me, a boy, nervous and yet with a kindness, a strength of character, as the cliché goes, that made me melt into his arms, despite my selfish intentions to resolve my own issues through this shadow we both waited for. With streams of tears running down to our mouths, we kissed and tasted the salt in each other. We knew we were both in fact applying balm to each other's wounds. And sure enough, standing at the door with the same wry smile on his same pale face, amused, dejected in pain for betraying him, Uncle, I scream yet again. Uncle, I turned towards him and moved Karan's hands from behind, over myself, guiding him to places uncle had touched, my manic body, now blazing. Don't stop, Karan, I ordered. I had to make sure the father stayed long enough. Why are you back, uncle? I cannot believe you would become a bad girl, Dolly. Uncle, was I a bad girl when you had me? No, you were good. I loved you and you loved me. And I thought you will always love me, even if I left. I had given you enough memories to last a lifetime. Uncle, do you know what you did was wrong? You were a part of it, Dolly. You wanted me as I wanted you. I was a little girl, Uday, you scoundrel. I was a little girl. You vomited your vulgarity all over me, made me impure for life. You robbed me. Even when I had nothing to give, your claws dug into my chest, that shuddered with pain and took away my soul, burnt it mercilessly, then put the ashes back in. And now, why are you back? Tell me what brings you back. I came back to say sorry. Will you forgive me for a sin committed for which no punishment is brutal enough? I was a demon with blood in my hands. I was a murderer of the spirit of an innocent child. But Dolly, never ever think it's your fault. Forget what I said before. Never think you are impure because of what I did. You are pure, as pure as your mother's love. But will you forgive me, my dear little girl, my Kanjak? Even if it's too much to ask for, I forgive you, uncle. For I need to save myself from my wrath, for I need my sanity back too. If I ever was sane, and when I know I was never normal to begin with. So long, Dolly. Uncle vanished for good. It was all over, or so I thought. Just then, Mama walked in. Her face evaporated of all color. What happened, Mama? I asked, even though I had something more important, more exciting to share. Karan, my child, cried Mama. I just got a call from Australia. Your dad's colleague. He said your dad met with an accident, passed away last night. Uday, that swine. Oh, he will burn in hell. I'm so sorry. We all hugged and cried over our loss.
थामा हरो का इसको किसने हाँ ये तो बहता पानी कैसी पहेली है ये कैसी पहेली जिंदगानी ओ डॉली हाँ.
I regretted the impossibility of seeing him suffer and crying out in pain and pleading at my feet to forgive him. But I already did. I just needed to remind myself again and again. They say, stop telling yourself these negative stories about yourself. You are God's creation, a miracle. Be your best version. Unburden yourself from your past and blah blah blah. But then, what's the rush again? Why is a long grieving a very sad period full of guilt and filth not allowed? Why couldn't I be left alone to figure it out myself? I had started feeling secure in this place, indulging myself in the soothing comfort food of self-pity. I also understood very well I needed to get out and waited for that time to come, delaying it as much as I could. I knew I couldn't jumpstart the healing, but I had to start somewhere. It was now a year that he had left. And Karan, my precious one, the original hero, He had to leave too for higher studies, promising that he would come back for me soon. I believed him, as I had started to believe in everything too. He had his own demons to fight and needed that space. While I continued having trouble sleeping and bouts of panic attacks here and there, but slowly, from black, the sky started looking blue again. From yellow, the French fries golden. The Snapchat filters made me laugh again. I started missing my friends too, and it was time to go back to school. Knowledge is a powerful tool. Let us not take it away from kids who have to acquire it with difficulty. What you call learning difficulties or disabilities, if at all it matters. The fact of the matter is that kids like me and all other kids too just need respect. It was the last year in school, though when I left before I had told everyone I did it to become a model, as I was just confirming a stereotype that beautiful girls equals to dumb equals to models. And of course, it validated them, and the gossip mongers created even more hype. But this time, even if it was kind of awkward to come back, I had to be honest. I needed to prove that I wasn't finished. I was an interesting work in progress. And it did not mean better percentages. It meant more confidence, more positivity, more style than I already had. Why not? And a resounding belief that no matter what, there is nothing that can get me. I know it's all gyan, but there has to be something good that you can take away from a sickening, wretched life like mine. So read more books, watch more movies, play more sports, make your bed, talk to your mom, motivate that friend, mend some fences, don't judge, see a therapist if you have to, work through your problems, face your fears, dare, be good. Even if it's a paradox, and so unfair at times, this is the only shitty world we've got. So if we can't fight it, we join in. Joining in can be fun sometimes. And who says we can't still change the world? Of course we can. That's why we are here. People close to you can be weirdos, but they are your own people, your own friends, your own family. Even when rebelling is a young person's second nature, sometimes you sit back and believe, and sure enough, everything will be alright. Maybe I haven't been able to give you your happy ending, but I continue breathing. And just as the proof of the pudding is in the eating, the purpose of life is in the living.
कल जब अंकल ने पास बुलाया था, गोद में बैठा के मेरा गाल सहलाया था। माँ, क्यों तूने मुझे चिल्लाकर अंदर बुला दिया? फ्रेंड स्कूल से जल्दी गई, सुना है पेट में उसके दर्द उठा था। हमारे पीटी टीचर का मान बहुत था। माँ, फिर क्यों पुलिस ने उन्हें अरेस्ट किया? स्कूल बस वाले हमारे ड्राइवर अंकल देने लगे मुझे काफ़ी महंगे चॉकलेट कल। माँ, क्यों तूने खुद मुझे रोज़ स्कूल छोड़ने का फैसला किया? ये क्या हो गया है तुझे माँ आजकल? मुझे लेके क्यों तुम डरी डरी रहती हो और इतने सारे सवाल करती रहती हो? किसने दी चॉकलेट? क्यों हो गई लेट? ये निशान कैसे? किसी ने छुआ तो नहीं? माँ तुम्हें कुछ हुआ तो नहीं? ये सारी बातें छोड़ो माँ, आज की बस बात सुनो माँ। हमारे प्रिंसिपल मैडम कहीं चली गई है। स्कूल के सामने बह रहा लोगों का झरना है। हमारे एक पॉलिटिशियन पार्टी का वह धरना है। मेरी समझ में कुछ नहीं आ रहा है। और हाँ, स्कूल के गेट पर मेरे उस सहेली के पापा अपना सर पटक पटक कर रो रहे थे और उसकी माँ पटक पटक कर रो रही थी। पता नहीं वह क्यों पटक पटक कर रो रहे थे। माँ, क्या तुम्हें पता है वह क्यों रो रही थी? चुप क्यों हो माँ, बताओ ना। मेरी फ्रेंड भी रो रही थी, वो क्यों रो रही थी? वो क्यों रो रही थी? वो क्यों रो रही थी?